Joining me live now from Bengaluru is the chief of the Karnataka Youth Congress, Mohammed Harris Nalapad. He is the chief of the Youth Congress in Karnataka. He's the one who's organized these protests and is leading the protests as well. Nalapad, welcome. Thank you for your time on this day. I know you're busy with the protests that are taking place today. What are you making, Nalapad, of this entire fight over Savarkar versus Tipu Sultan that's going on right now?
Thank you, Shiv, for having me on the show. I would like to start by saying this is uncalled for, right? We as the youngsters of this country and the state, we have to hide its failures, trying to divert all these issues under what their failures are. Now, where it comes to Siddaramaiah ji, such a senior leader, a chief minister who has actually delivered whatever he had promised, one of the few in the country, such a senior leader, when he is going, they are throwing Savarkar's photo into his car. They are throwing, I repeat the word, they are throwing. So that's all respect they have for Savarkar, and they are throwing eggs at the car. So if I respected somebody, I would never throw their photo. So this clearly shows that they have zero respect for Savarkar, zero respect for any of the things that is happening. They just want to divert the issues. They want to divert their failures. They don't want to show that what they have done. The people that are watching this are very clear. They understand what is happening and they're trying to divert. And we, the Youth Congress, today have held a protest across the state. And today we wanted to peacefully protest and send eggs to every one of the BJP ministers and say that we belong to the family of Congress and we belong to the Ahimsa side, and we want to make sure that no Himsa is happening on anybody. And they didn't allow us to do our protest also. They arrested us and put us inside and took us away. I'm trying to say, when the incident happened, there was a police officer standing right there and they couldn't arrest those people at that time or stop them at that time. But when we want to protest and we want to show our anger, we are not allowed.
Nalapad, the anger against Siddaramaiah, and I'm playing devil's advocate here. Tipu Sultan is a very sensitive issue in the Kodagu district. Couldn't it be the anger of people about, the perception that Siddaramaiah has been a propagator of Tipu Jayanti, it's inappropriate, and that's where this anger is coming from, or do you think it's just purely political?
See, Shiv, the beauty is in the beholder's eyes. The guy who looks at it, how they look at it is most important. Now, if you ask, according to me and my wish and what I have learnt in school, I don't think anything wrong in there in Tipu Sultan. Rather, whatever the history, what has been happened, what has been taught to us, today they are trying to change the history. Siddaramaiah ji is a leader, a chief minister who has served the country, served the state for 5 years. Now, you cannot disrespect such a person. And you have all the right to protest against anybody you like, but not harm or attack anybody. Democracy gives us the right. The constitution gives us the right to have a freedom, show a black flag. It is your choice, but not throw things at people, try to harm these people, hit eggs on people. How many people don't have food to eat and you're throwing egg at people? Is this the culture? This is what I would like to ask the RSS and the BJP people.
One final, just two more questions with you, Nalapad. One is, when Mr. Siddaramaiah reacted to the whole Shivamogga incident and said it is wrong and the people who are to be blamed are those who had put up these Savarkar posters in, the so-called Muslim areas in Shivamogga. By saying something like that, do you think that was in a way also normalizing the extreme reactions to the posters? Because you're saying it's wrong to do something like that.
See, what I am trying to say, Siddaramaiah ji, the way he meant it was not what the media is taking it. The reality is that he said that the poster was placed there to create issue. That is what he tried to say. The poster was placed in a thickly populated Muslim area so that somebody reacts and such an incident happens.